Senior Superintendent Clifton Hicken, who was the commander of the E&F division at the time of the Linden shooting, was called before the Commission of Inquiry today. The E&F division covers Linden. Senior Superintendent Hicken, being led by Police Counsel Peter Hugh, this morning testified that he arrived in Linden on the morning of July 18 and informed the police stations in the area that he was underground. He also testified that he visited the bridge where the protesters were that morning and asked the leaders of the protest to have the people clear the bridge. Hicken said he was in constant contact with the police commissioner throughout the day about what was taking place at Linden. He, however, denied ever being in contact with Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi on that day. He testified that when he visited the Mackenzie-Wismer Bridge at various times, he was not armed. He told the commission also that although he was the divisional commander, he was not in charge of the tactical services unit that was in the town at the time. Responsibility for that unit, he said, rested with the commander of the unit, Assistant Superintendent Todd, and the police commissioner himself. He, however, admitted that he did brief the assistant superintendent about what was taking place in the town. After the lunch break, APNU attorney Basil Williams took over the questioning and grilled the senior superintendent about various statements he allegedly made in meetings with regional officials leading up to the march. It became particularly testy when Williams questioned the senior superintendent about threats he allegedly made to various regional officials about what he would do on the day of the march. Hicken denied ever making any threats against anyone.
What I did was my responsibility to send the information where it's supposed to go. That's the head of the Ghana Police Force.
Now, I'm saying why, in fact, you did not, you neglected your duty at the midday or early morning, late that morning, was because of a prior plan that you had.
I don't understand what you're saying, Counsel. I'm
saying to you that when you fail to act in bright daylight, in the light of what you're saying, these threats to do this and do that, the fact that you failed to act was because you had a prior plan.
I'm not comprehending, Counsel.
To go back that evening to send a message to the people of Linden by shooting them to death. I put it that to you.
Counsel, I'm not comprehending what you're saying. You said I failed to act, and I said I acted by passing the information where it's supposed to go.
Now, you got to answer my question. I'm saying to you that your so-called failure to act in bright daylight, Country 1105, even in the midst of such serious threats, was because you and your cohorts had a prior plan to return that evening and slaughter the people on the bridge to send a message to them so that they won't have no 5-day protest. That was your intention, to prevent a 5-day protest.
Esteemed Commissioners, I don't understand what the Council is saying.
You don't understand? Just answer. You don't understand.
And he testified also that on the 18th of July, he remained at the Mackenzie police station while the TSU ranks were sent out to clear the bridge. He denied being in the area when the protesters were shot and told the commission that he first learned of someone being injured at around 7:30 that night. He said he was not aware that persons had died until the next morning. He got into a tit-for-tat with Williams about his role as commander of the area, since he testified that although he had 40 ranks underground who were all under his watch, he did not know what weapons they were carrying.
Now, you said you didn't have a gun on you when you went to the bridge where the protesters were?
Yes, Counsel, I didn't have a firearm.
But you have the units, everybody armed, a man, and you said you didn't have one?
We have two different roles, Counsel.
Huh?
We have two different roles.
At least you had your personal weapon.
No, Counsel.
also the outfit of those distances. What guns they had.
Good. We come to weaponry later on. Now, the weaponry that the Linden anti-patrols had, what were they?
Council, those are delegated responsibilities. I'm the commander. They have officers and sergeants dealing with that.
So you don't know what weaponry they had?
No, Council.
What about the TSU unit?
Again, Council, those are delegated responsibilities. That is from Commissioner DCOP's OCTSU deployment.
So you don't have any idea what they were armed with?
That's not my responsibility, Council.
As commander who's coordinating the patrols dealing with the march, you didn't know what weaponry they had? What about ordnance? You have any idea what they had? Ammunition. You don't know that's what ordnance is?
You ready for me to reply, Council?
Yes.
I don't know, Council.
And Hicken also testified that when it comes to the order to shoot, it did not come from him. He said he was in Linden for various protests in the town, but requested that the TSU be sent to Linden on the day of July 18 to provide additional support to his ranks who are already there and underground. Hicken was eventually removed from Linden the day after the shooting incident. He said he did his job as prescribed. He will return to the witness box early Thursday morning to be questioned by attorney Nigel Hughes, who is representing the interests of the relatives of those who were killed.